Good morning, everybody, and happy Father's Day weekend. Some of you guys aren't going to hear that enough, and most of the people that tune into my show happen to be men, and I'm a man, and I'm a father. I have two kids, and I'm going to show you something really pretty. This is what it looks like when the sun comes up where I live. It's just coming over. Look at that. Oh, is that majesty or what? Look at that. All right. I wanted you to see that. Well, I didn't actually. That wasn't even part of the plan. I'm gonna have to switch seats though because I don't feel like dealing with the sun in the eyes today. I know it gives you guys a better look at my beautiful face, but it's hard on my eyes. I can't do that the whole show today. It's funny because I get up really early. What is it? 5:30. It's about the time the sun comes up here. You know what though? Look at this. This is terrible, terrible lighting. When I fairly decent lighting when I face that way. Oh, what are you gonna do? What if I face this way, everybody? Hey, sorry about this, but this is what you have to deal with lives. Look at that. No way, man. You you guys will tune out in 2 seconds. So anyway, that is the beautiful sunrise. This is Father's Day. Uh, I want to tell everybody out there, Happy Father's Day. You know, it means something. It's hard being a dad. It's hard working. It's hard being the rock of the family. I know I am one. Hey, I found this song. Listen, hey, listen. It's the funniest song with this guy, Brad Paisley. I'm gonna miss it. As you can see, like I'm not, I'm not, not, I'm not. I don't listen to a ton of country, but I got to tell you, I do. As I've gotten older, I've definitely learned to appreciate country, man. They sing about some real stuff, and I want to talk about some real stuff with you today. So, for all you dads out there, Happy Father's Day, man. Try to get out and do something you enjoy this weekend, as you should, right? Mothers are celebrated pretty much all year long, and you're pretty much not. But that's part of being a guy. Come on, all this crybaby crap. We're not recognized enough. I get it. I get it. Right? We're not. We're not. We're definitely shelved. Most of the attention gets put on the moms and what the moms need and what the moms desire. And I think that look, that's part of being a guy, guys. Like man up a little bit. I mean that I do. That's just part of being a guy, man. We are a bit of a crybaby culture lately. I think that we need it though. I think that the emotions of men have been like we've been taught to suppress our emotions to a point that it's really really unhealthy. I mean that's where that funny meme comes from. It's like be a man, stuff your emotions down till you turn 49 and die of a heart attack like a real man. I mean it's true. Especially my generation, Generation X. Now, this youngest generation, they need to, they need to toughen up. It's funny, man. It really, really, really. But we need them. We do need it. And so, if you're part of that young generation, we do need you. You are far too sissified. Don't get me wrong. You're just way too sissified. I mean, good God. What you think life is meant to do for you is insane. And it won't work out that way. And you may end up worse off than we did. I mean, for us, it was mainly suppress your emotions. I'm a complex trauma. I'm not going to use the word survivor. My childhood was horrible, horrible, and not horrible in the sense that I come from a blue collar family. Mom and dad got divorced, and there were some minor abuses. Dad maybe slapped me a little bit and shit. I'm talking about nastiness, right? In my childhood, real, true, gutter, hungry beatings, stuff you're not supposed to see ever in your life, let alone at 3 and 4 years old. But point being, I was taught to suppress that, and so into the last few years, I didn't know how to deal with it. And I never even knew, when people say to like love yourself as a dad and as a father, I was a really successful guy. Um, I am a really successful guy in work, but I was really, really successful for a while. And I was so annihilated by the fact that I thought everything was my fault. If you blame me for something, I automatically assumed I did it. I was taught to do that. We are human. We are machines, people. We are programmed, and programmed, not like, don't take that too far. You can overcome all of that. Don't be a crybaby about it. But if you don't even know that you're supposed to overcome it, if you don't even know that it's okay to express your feelings, you're never going to get over it, guys. If and listen to me, I really need you to hear me here. I didn't even know what self-love meant. First off, that sounded like some sissy shit to me. I'm just being honest, right? Grew up, I was a wrestler. I actually like fighting. Pain is, I like it. Like, I think that like when you are in a physical grind, when someone is beating on you, when there's massive amounts of pain, but you got to keep using this, I think you're training yourself to be some of the toughest people on the planet. So I believe in wrestling. It's why I believe in mixed martial arts. And dude, I never threw an actual kick or a punch until, like, no, I don't mean in a fight. Like, you didn't want me in a ground and pound situation with you. There's very few people that can stop me from taking them down. And I mean hard. And there's a lot less people that are going to keep me from holding them down because I have massive strength. I mean, I've been training for 30 years. I'm really, really strong, not just like in a general sense, but even like for my weight. I mean, I am. Right. Like there's a young dude. I love him, man. At a dojo I used to train at. And, he was like 250, something like that. Like, I'll fire him up in the air almost where he felt like he was weightless. The truth was, as a wrestler, you all know what I was doing. I was using his weight against him, but he didn't know that. And so, but that goes for the street too. Anyway, I digress. Point being, I got into like doing Muay Thai and boxing, and like I kept myself a beginner. I mean, being a beginner is so underrated. Being a beginner is like the greatest time of your life. But when you come from a background like mine, being a father can be particularly hard because no one ever been, first off, I didn't have a man, a dad, or any male figure worth anything in my life, period. Period. That includes family members. Garbage is what they were. I can't even imagine some of the things. I have kids, right? And like a lot of people, when they have kids, they go, oh my gosh, my parents had it hard. I really understand where they were coming from. I had the exact opposite effect. My wife used to tell me, like, Derek, do you know that like that's not okay, right? And I would be like, I'm dead serious. I had no idea. I was like, wait, it's not. That doesn't. People don't choke you and put a cigarette on your chin and then tell you they love you. That doesn't happen. Like, you all think that I'm making fun. I'm not. So it was weird when I had kids. All of a sudden, I go, "Oh my god!" Like somebody, and that's not. That's mild. That's nothing. That's one of the easier days of my childhood. And so yeah, I mean, I didn't know how do you be a dad? What is a man? See, these aren't things I was taught. I learned them on my own. And guess where I learned them from? Being out there, right? When they write the School of Hard Knocks, like that's where you learn. That's where I learned. That's where I learned all my skills. That's why when you're walking down the road with me and we're sitting there in a deep conversation, I'll go, oh, hold on. And I'll pick up a screw on the road and I'll throw it in the weeds. You'll go, how the hell did you see that? I see everything. It's a gift. The abuse, like the hyper awareness that had to be developed for me as a child is a gift. And I can share that gift with you because I do have a hyper awareness of things. Just natural for me. But again, I digress more, but as I'm a father now and I look at my kids, I think about the things that happened to me. And let me tell you something. That was when I stopped talking to my family. That was when I stopped. I didn't realize it was ritual abuse that had been going on my whole life. I had no idea. I didn't know what love yourself meant. I didn't even know what it meant. Like people go, Derek, like you know why you feel the need to accomplish so much, and like I didn't feel like I felt the need to accomplish so much. But I got to tell you, I go 20 hours a day. I didn't sleep much. I probably still don't sleep all that much. I don't think I feel safe when I sleep. Probably it's probably I don't know that will ever go anywhere. Maybe, but you get hardwired up here, and a lot of that stuff is very difficult to change. I'm not afraid when I sleep, don't get me wrong, but I don't sleep well. you know I get 4 hours, I'm up and I go all day. And so, but then before, it would be like task, work, and I never knew that the accomplishment driven mentality was really complex trauma. I thought that was my worth. And what was real tough about that was when I was a financial advisor. I was working for Securities America, and they got in trouble with FINRA for using UITs, unit investment trusts. These were things that, if you knew how to trade, were amazing, man. You'd make 6, 7, 8% yield for your clients, and if you knew how to trade them, they were set up like anything else, right? Like some would be growth stocks, some would be value stocks, some would be bonds, some would be whatever. And if you knew how to trade those, you could make your clients a lot of money because they're getting like 8% yield on this stuff, right? So, like, if you're any good at all, you made a ton of money for doing that for them, which I did. I did, and they got in trouble with with FINRA or the SEC or somebody for using that stuff. And I got a call and threatened, and then FINRA threatened me. And here's the funny thing: 17 years in the business, I never had a single client complaint. You know why? My clients made more money than every friend they ever knew. I'm not going to go down the road of that story, but just the fact that I was accused. See, when I grew up, if you were accused of something, you better shut up and take what was dished out. If you don't take what's dished out, what's coming next is worse. So I am trained to believe that. Or I was. I'm no longer trained to believe that. So So here's the problem with that. So you move forward in my life. When you take a big loss and all your self-worth is tied up in money or success, or like even your ability to trade, my accuracy rate is really, really, really high. And if you give me if you're like a long-term investor that is looking for things that are, 12-month time frame because you want to keep your capital gains tax down to long-term capital gains, which can be a very intelligent move in certain accounts. I do encourage some swing trading. I do encourage some, which would be considered short-term because it's under 12 months. But if you're that guy, and you're just looking to miss the big 50% drops, I mean, I have 100% success rate. I've never been the victim of a bear market, not even 08 and 09. And anybody that says they couldn't see that coming is lying to you. I can show you right now. I show it all the time, how easy it was to see. And yesterday I did a funny video. So anyway, when you're attached to these things, so I would even be attached to a winning and losing trade, but like me, my worth, and then like how much money I made, my worth, like was I in debt, my worth, what kind of car did I drive, my worth, what kind of house did I have, my worth. I mean, really, Derek's worth was based on all those things. And there's so many people out there. So you have no idea. When you finally overcome that, when you finally realize, oh my God, like my worth is me, just me. I'm still going to have some losses and some wins and all that, but I'm the worth. When you finally understand you're the worth, oh my God, it's life changing. Oh my God. Men and women out there. I know it's Father's Day, but the women should hear this too. You don't understand. You're impenetrable. You're impenetrable not because you're so great. You're impenetrable because your value isn't attached to the negative thing that anyone says to you. Isn't that wild? If you understand this, then you know what I'm saying to you. But like, I'm impenetrable. You could say anything to me because my self-worth is tied up in me and in my belief system. I've never had that in my whole life. I don't think I realized I had it until yesterday after the market closed. It was pretty amazing. Dude, it was pretty amazing. I mean, dude, yeah, it was such a thing for me. You have no idea. And I know for some of you out there, it is such a big thing because if you don't have that, you can, you know, you you can play it off like you're okay and you're all good. There's guys out there that say, like, oh, there's a lot of crap that gets said out there, a lot of crap. But they act all tough all the time and they don't care. And they're like, yeah, when times get tough, I figure it out. I'm a man, you know? Had to turn it on. I get sidetracked. But you're going to get a bunch of free stock picks. And why am I doing this? Because I was a financial advisor for years. Merrill Lynch, Wells Fargo Advisors, AG Edwards, great company. AG Edwards doesn't exist anymore. Family owned, 120 years. They used the 2008, 2009 crisis to buy it. Also, maybe the Edwards family want to sell it. Let's keep it real, right? So what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about some big banks. Why are we going to talk about big banks? Because they're fake. If you work with a financial advisor to Merrill Lynch, a Morgan Stanley, a Bank of America, Smith Barney, Citigroup, I don't care where you're at, that person does no work for you. I'm going to tell you a real quick story because I know you all want to see the stocks. That's all you care about. You want to see what's coming. When I can't remember where I was. It might have been Merrill Lynch. Who knows? But you're only allowed to vary in your portfolios by about 5%. And because of that, that means there's no such thing as day trading. There's no such thing as going out there. Not, by the way, that's how they make all their money, right? So they're trading desks and taking companies public and all that kind of, that's how they make all the, because they know that's where the money is. And as an advisor, you're not allowed to do it. And people don't believe me. I was making $500,000 a year, something like that. I did really, really well for my clients because I didn't care about being the black sheep. When '08 hit in March of '08, so there's some hit I took from it was like the end of '07 to March of '08, and that's when AIG said they were going to go bankrupt. If you go on to chat GPT, it's going to say it was in like September or something with AIG. No, it wasn't. That's a lie. They're falsifying history. It was in like March. And I pulled all my customers into cash. All my clients went straight to cash. I went short through '08. And there's a couple CFAs out there that can tell you that I'm not lying to you because where I was at that point was Wells Fargo Advisors. Um, anyway, so I was constantly getting in trouble with them. But just to tell you, when markets were slow and like there was only so much I could do. So all my clients missed all bear markets. Fact. You don't like that fact? Look it up. It's all over the internet. I haven't changed a thing. I don't delete anything. I just delete nothing. Those were the easiest markets in the world to call. 2021 was also easy to call. Easy. And if you don't believe me, too bad. It was. Keep losing money with your advisor. Here's the point of the conversation. I once did not come into the office from May until September. I never looked at my cell phone. I never looked at my laptop. Never. I think my assistant had called me 23 times. I never called her back. When I showed back up in September, they said, "Where were you?" I said, "I was just working remotely." "Oh, blah, blah, I tried to call you." I go, "Oh, I've been having problems with that phone." That was it. May, June, July, August, 4 months. Never looked, never talked, never called. That's because all the check requests and all the simple, stupid stuff was done by my assistant. I didn't talk to a client. I didn't go to a client's house. Didn't have to, right? Because I took massive heat when I would go to cash before bear markets. But all my clients love me. They adore me. I had my first client when I left that business. I had my very first client. No one fired me. You out of your freaking mind. And the reason I'm going to show you these is I want to look at the comparison between those companies, your Wells Fargo advisors, Wells Fargo, your Bank of America's, Merrill Lynch, your Citibanks, which is Smith Barney, your Morgan Stanley's, which is Morgan Stanley. They just bought like a little brokerage or something too. I forget who they bought. Um, and then we're going to look at your other companies like Schwab, which I think Ameritrade, they get Robinhood. We're going to go through, we're going to look at these picks. Look at that. I'm 20 minutes in. Hey guys, listen, I started talking about myself. Shouldn't have done that. Nobody, it's not really why I'm here, but also you got to know, for some of you out there, that's probably more important than anything else. But what I could have done was I could have been going through these stocks for you as I talked. So let us start now. So we're going to look at Bank of America, right? We go back here. Actually, let's start with JP Morgan. We're going to look at JP Morgan. JPM. I despise most of these companies. The reason I despise them is they just lie and they know it. It's not marketing, it's not advertising, it's lying. They're an integral part of the system and you can't do without them because most companies wouldn't be able to go public. Hopefully we can change that fact. As you can see, financials have pulled down pretty hard this month. At least JP Morgan has. Let's go down to a weekly. JP Morgan, I think, is it JP Morgan or I think it's JP Morgan, still has a guy that realizes the market has a giant drop still that is completely necessary. I respect that guy. I think it was Morgan Stanley, the guy that bailed here recently. And that's just cowardice. He knows darn well that the pullback is needed. So what's the date here? So this is back of March. So if you've been in financials, you've made no money since March. You've lost money, at least in JP Morgan. And I think JP Morgan is doing better than most because they do have that guy that is not backing down, nor should he. The market is very heavy right now. The only thing keeping it going, it looks like, is manipulation and algorithmic trading and a lot of this trend following crap, which is really just computer-based trading, I believe. Let's go to that's a daily. Let's go. I'm just going to go down to 1 hour. Is there anything in the near future we should know about? That's a lot of buying there, but it led nowhere. Then it broke this level. There's a gap here. So let's see. Let's zoom in a little more. I actually don't need to look at this all that hard, guys. I mean, I know this stuff like the back of my hand. So there's some big selling back here. There's definitely some big buying in here. Let's go down to a 15-minute. Buying, buying, buying. Definitely significant buying there. 5-minute. Buying in the background. Done. What's this? Buying, buying. All right. In the next, wait, let's go down 2 minutes. Let's see what we see. Oh yeah. I never log into Trading View. I'm going to though. Like enough is enough. Come on. Buying. Let's look at 1 minute. Buying. What's in the background? This looks like selling up here. This looks like selling. This definitely looks like buying. Let's go to 2 minutes. I don't know if it'll let me. Yeah, I'll probably take me back to 3 minutes. Huh? Yeah. Gosh. So let's just say in the next week. So let's go up here. We're going to go to JPM. In the next week, you're looking at you're looking at 198. Let's change the color here. This is blue, which is funny because this contradicts what I saw in some of the other stocks, but I don't care, guys. I am evaluating each position. Oh, we need to do that again because I have the background here. Let's fix that background. There we go. Okay. Arrow up. Bing, boom. So JP Morgan looks like it's going up to 200. That is a short-term goal, obviously. You know what? Let's not. Let's add something else. Let's just add that. Somebody got on me, asked me about time frames because I put something about Apple hitting 172 to 174. They're like, oh, Apple soared. I'm like, yeah, that's a 4 hour chart. I'm talking about 3 months out. And I realized at that point, honestly, I should thank that person because I realized at that point that no one cared about 2 months out. I don't know why. You can make, I'm telling you right now, guys, for you guys that are day trading every day, you can make almost the same money swing trading as you can day trading with way less stress. Let's look at Bank of America. Way less stress. That's a fact. Hey, so I want to talk about any of you guys out there. Wow, look at that. This thing's a piece of crap, huh? It's nowhere near the highs. Look what everybody's telling you. Everybody's been telling you um, that the market's so strong. This is Bank of America, folks. It's Bank of America. Look at that. I hate this company. Like these companies, they're a necessity, so I should watch my mouth because I don't want anybody thinking they're not. For now, they are. Believe me, only people that want this whole market to tumble, like literally crash, are people that are extremely wealthy. If you're a normal guy out there and you think you're buying and selling crypto because you want to put these guys out of business and you're going to show them what's up, you better hope you don't. And that, by the way, the crypto markets are wrought with far more abuse than the stock market is. I mean, dude, yeah, playing over there, unless you're like they're like, oh, there's full transparency. Yeah, there's mixers over there, full transparency. My ass. Crypto does not have full transparency. If you believe that, you don't know what you're talking about. They're hiding way more in the crypto world than they are in the stock market world. And it sounds like, oh, he's a stock market guy. No, I'm against all corruption. I absolutely can't stand it. Look at this though. This has a nice rising trend in near term compared to Wells Fargo. I mean, look at that. That's buying at a low. I mean, so is this. This is better. This is much better in the near term than Wells Fargo was. Buying this dip, selling. I'm going to back up just a little bit. I just want to see how far back that was. Yeah, that's nice. 35, you're at 39. All right, let's go into a 30. Bought here, sold here. Not a lot of action. Filled the gap. I like that. That's good for a rising trend market there. 15-minute. Let's see. Buying low. Now you see this looks like let's go down a little bit more. Tough to say right there. Yeah, it's tough to say right there. Filled that gap. I don't want to give you crap advice. This is a dog fight right here. In the near term, they're fighting over this thing. Okay, low price. I hear that's a low price. What's that? 39.24. Yeah. Low price. Low price. Oh yeah, they like to give me the 3-minute. Tough to say. I mean, it's really a dogfight. If I'm looking at it near term, I mean, this doesn't have. It's just not worth mentioning, to be honest with you, because if I were to say like, what's the near term target on this thing? I mean, I guess. I mean, it definitely looks like it's to the upside. Yeah, let's call 45. Let's say that this is because dude, this is Better put within. Yeah. And the next is probably 2. To hit that target, it's probably 2. You can shorten that up a little bit if you actually want to own this thing. I wouldn't own it. Yeah, I wouldn't own it. This isn't even a call I. You can shorten that up a little bit if you actually want to own this thing. I wouldn't own it. Yeah, I wouldn't own it. This isn't even a call I care about. That's the truth. I wouldn't own this. Okay, there you have it. Let's see. Bank of America. What else did I say? Let's just look at Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley. We will look at Goldman Sachs later too. Morgan Stanley, monthly. Guys, these financial stocks aren't doing anything. I mean, they're just not. We're going to move on. There's no reason to break down companies that aren't doing anything unless you guys are looking for downside. I mean, if you're looking for downside, we could do this all day. I mean, look at this. Wells Fargo. What a piece of crap. As we get, look at all these financial advisors, all these big institutions don't do anything. I hope you know that. There's very, very, very few out there that have any idea what they're doing. And if they don't have a CFA after their name and they're in a big, large brokerage firm, you should leave that place. Because the truth is, guys like me, I didn't go for a CFA because I don't really believe in it. I believe that CFAs are incredibly intelligent guys, but they work within a system and they believe in a system that has an absolute fallacy. And what is that absolute fallacy? We're going to look at Robinhood. The absolute fallacy of those large brokerage firms is that fundamentals matter. I'm sorry if that bothers you. Fundamentals can give you an inkling as to time frame. I use fundamentals myself. I think it helps tell a story. But the fact of the matter is, all that matters when it comes to an investment is cash flow. Flows going in or out of a stock, an index, a market. NVIDIA's proof of that. What was her name? Kathy Wood, that had the innovative fund, ARC. Yeah, she was such a genius. She understood innovation so well. That's why ARC's down 75%. It'll never go back to where it was. Kathy Wood sold NVIDIA at what, $150? But she understands innovation so well. It's called luck, folks. It's called luck and what you're born into. I mean, don't give me any bullshit about it. Like, we can all lie to each other if we're trying. But do you think that I believe that she knows anything? If you were a master of innovation, if that's what you truly understood was tech innovation, you would be an idiot not to own and hold NVIDIA through at least, I mean, maybe at 900 she jumped ship, because now it's getting a little bit extended. You know, the PE's up at 82. That's pretty high. Sentiment is pretty darn high. It's up 13 times, so 1,300%. Okay, right. But at $150, when the thing hadn't gone anywhere, it hadn't even started to move yet, and you understand innovation? Come on. You can't possibly believe that. Robinhood, let's see. These guys have had some problems too. They try to innovate really quickly. They're trying to do a good thing. And I'm just evaluating the stock, not the company, because I'm going to tell you now that that's the fallacy with being a CFA. You're trying to evaluate a company. That's a joke. I can show you. How about Tesla? We're going to look at Tesla too, because they're a sustainability stock. Guys, this isn't good. See all this volume in this fall. I'm going to tell you, I hate putting out news like this on companies that seem to be trying to do a good thing. And I believe Robinhood is trying to do a good thing and trying to make money too. But they are trying to do a good thing. And I hate to say it, but it looks like they're selling the hell out of this thing. I mean, if the background, guys, on this is just not good. It's just not good. I mean, this is the high end of a range, just the low end of the range on here, like 2150. And you have to realize $1.50 on a stock like this is meaningful. That's 5 and 6%. So I'm not going to rate this thing. I'm just going to tell you that it's not pretty, and I don't like it. So that's Robinhood. Let's go ahead and look at Schwab. It's TD Ameritrade they bought. Morgan Stanley bought E-Trade. See, more consolidation in the industry. Of course, Morgan Stanley did that. Of course, Schwab did that. I'm not against Schwab or anything, but they are now they're starting to have all the same problems that all the big guys do. I'm not even sure why I know why they're a brokerage, not a bank, I guess. But they're starting to have all the same problems. Schwab has a scandal after scandal, mistake after mistake. And look at this drop, this precipitous drop here. I forget what that was. I remember I just talked about it 2 days ago. It's hard trying to keep up on all the quote unquote news. Not that news makes any bit of difference, guys. News is meaningless. People dumped this. This is retail dumping because they heard the bad news, and this is institutions buying, which is why it's rallied from 44 to 73 from March until now. Institutions use news to invoke emotional responses, and that's what they did right there. And retail bought it because retail buys that stuff because they don't take the time to learn this. All they want to see is stock picks, right? And I'm not telling you guys that watching me pick or watching my price points is a bad idea. I want you to do it, and you should do it. But you should also have set up one-on-one sessions with me and learned and set up and established your own personal investment plan and strategy based on your own personal risk management, your own personal cash management, and your own personal investment management, because we are all different, and we can all withstand certain levels of risk, certain levels of reward, certain levels of emotion. We're all different. You want to optimize what you're doing. Like if you're an RIA out there, man, I would call me, right? I will show you how to do this. You want to manage money the right way, the way that I did. And that's one of the main reasons I walked away from the industry. I can't do that. There's something in me that's stupid. Even when I'm making $500,000 a year, and I was 27, and you got to realize I was raised on welfare. And I made my share of mistakes based on that background and how much money I was making. But point being, that was a lot of money for a guy like me. And guess what? I couldn't do it. I walked. I can't be involved in a system that is based on nothing. I can't. I'm sorry. That bothers you? Tough shit. I can't be involved in a system that is. If I showed you what asset allocation was, and none of you that are watching this care about asset allocation, but if I showed you how simple and stupid it was, it would blow your mind. Schwab, I have no opinion. It's just a piece of garbage. Morgan Stanley, we already looked at. Let's look at Goldman Sachs. The true guys that run the world, who they talk about all the time now: Blackstone, BlackRock, whoever. Fink, he's the CEO, and everybody's always talking. So you can see I don't care about these guys. I don't care what they're doing because they are so big at this point. Let me tell you what happens to big things. They burn down. So enjoy your glory, much like, Elon Musk did it with Tesla in 2021, which is now down 75%, much like Cathie Wood was praised as a genius for ARK in 2018, down 75%, never coming back. Geniuses are always praised until it blows up because the praise is false. The praise is based on emotion. It's based on price. It's based on return. And what made Cathie Wood so popular in 2017, 18, 16? Real simple. You guys bought into the fact that she was a genius. You flooded her ETF ARK with your money, which drove the price up. It had nothing to do with the companies that were within her little ETF. And by the way, you helped those companies build massive market cap. So you did help the economy. All you suckers did help the economy, but you also lost 75% of your money. What about all of you that told me how great electric cars were in 2021? Because this idea, look, we need electric cars. Because we're going through Goldman Sachs. There's not a lot to write home about here. We have an energy shortage and we need both. But if you have sludge that goes in, I think a bird can land for 2 minutes ticket is kids, those 7-year-olds in Africa, literally getting whipped, literally getting beaten, literally being starved to death. Is in the caring model too, the sustainability model. I mean, what a joke. Oh, hey, this is buying. So near term, where's this going? Let's back it up. Yeah, it's gonna come back to here real fast. We're on 445, 446. I can't see. Beautiful sun. 447, 452. Yep, it's only 1% or so. It's not very much. Let's back up a little bit and see if it can hit higher. That's reality, dude. What do you want me to tell you? Goldman Sachs. Let's go ahead and we'll give it 453. No, it's 452, man. That's what it is. Next 3 days. It's not much. It's upside though. Use an option on that thing out of the money. Sell an option, probably even smarter. Upside, bada bing. I'll take a picture of this one. So what were we talking about? Oh, the torture of children in Africa to make those the components for these the computer I'm working on right now and the phone that's sitting next to me. Now, I don't buy all the new technology when it comes out because I'm well aware that there's no sustainability in it, and that if all of us didn't get caught up in trends, maybe those kids wouldn't be in those pits. I have no idea. Maybe they would be anyway, right? I don't know. What do I know? Let's look at Interactive Brokers, IBKR. I think this is the biggest brokerage on TradingView, by the way. So shout out to Interactive Brokers. I don't know what you're doing right, but you're doing something right. So anyway, yeah, you got caught up in the Elon Musk thing in 2021. How's that feel now? Down 75%. Probably never going to see that price again. Feel good? Yeah, that's because cash flow moves markets, not fundamentals. Cash flow is manipulated. Cheaper stocks are easier to manipulate. Oh, might be onto something there. Perhaps that's why technology is moving the way it did. Perhaps that's why the buzzword AI moved the way it did. Stuff was still really cheap, right? Pretty easy to load up on cheap stuff. Then it's real easy to bully that market once you own it all, isn't it? You want to get retail excited? Pump price a little bit. You want to get them fearful so you can own some more? Drop the price. How do you do that? You just pull supply or you increase supply. How can you do that? Well, one way is corporate buybacks. We have corporate buybacks right now. Is it the 14th? Oh, they just ended yesterday. About $5.5 billion per day in corporate buyback, according to Goldman Sachs, who we were just looking at. Interactive Brokers doesn't look all that great, guys. I'm just keeping it real here. For any of you that are joining me, what we take a look at is we look at trading activity at high prices and low prices based on time frames. So as we break down a chart, every chart is a new chart, guys, and we're looking for trading activity. And when there's high volumes of trading activity that sort of poke in the eye, we're going to move on from Interactive Brokers. There's nothing here. When there is some high trading volume that pops you in the eye, that's trading activity. That means people are interested in making moves. And so those are places that we like to play. And they're really, really easy because usually what that means is when you can see, want to look at Raymond James, RJF? Let's do it. When you can see institutional footprints, I'm not sure. I always debate myself on which way I'm supposed to say that. I guess it doesn't really matter. But when you can see that footprint, like this big bar right here, there it is. Here we go. See this one? I'm going to show you guys. We haven't done a breakdown in the program, mainly because I've been doing them every day. I do realize that I have new viewers every day. So let's show you. See how this stands out? That bar there stands out. And then see how this one stands out. and then see how this current one right here is standing. Why? Because the only people that can make things stand out like that are large institutions. They're the only people with the kind of money to make something stand out like that. See this one down here? Now, what you'll notice on each of these bars on a monthly chart, aside from this one, this was a high price. So guess what it did? It rallied just a little bit before it pulled way down. And guess what it did? See, when you have a breakout of a price should pull back to that breakout point almost always. What do I mean by breakout? See how this was a basing period right here? See how this is basing? Basing just means price stays flat. Then price breaks out, okay? And as it breaks out, it will typically revisit this basing pattern because institutions want to find out if there's more shares they can own. Why do they want to own more shares? Because they want to manipulate prices they see fit. If you have a problem with that statement, you should leave now because that's a fact. They're going to manipulate that price. That is why price comes back down. They're going to pick up more. Now, what's going on here, guys? Well, they bought more right here. That's what's going on. In this area, they bought more. Now, when you're looking at a monthly chart, guys, you got to realize what you're looking at on a monthly chart is the long-term trend, okay? You're looking at years here. So when you start talking about what's going to happen with this is a stock that is long term, right? You're looking at years. Now, there's something here that's not very good, and that's the fact that in February of 2022 to now, price has not moved. So what we don't like to see is basing patterns like this on monthly charts that don't go anywhere. And I'll tell you why you don't like to see that, because tops are long. They take time. Bottoms are fast. Why are tops long? Because if you control all the stock and you sell too much at one time, you drop the price of the stock of which you're in control of. Why the heck would you want to do that? Why would you take profits from yourself? You would eke it out real slow to keep price at those elevated levels. Once you've sold off enough of your shares and then you want to scare retail so that you can buy more back, you dump the price or just quit buying it. It's really that simple. What do we see here? Anything interesting aside from this buy? No. That's a weekly chart. Daily chart, anything? I would say buy. You're at a high level here. Let's keep looking. 1 hour. How about 2 hours? Who cares? Buying. Oh, you would assume that's buying, but look, it propped it up to come here. Now it's selling off. Remember, every chart's a new chart, guys. Dropping. Selling on the way down, folks. That's what that is. Selling on the way down. It looks like institutions have sold off what they wanted to sell here, and now they want to buy it back cheap, which means scaring you. But in the intermediate term, in the next week, you are going to see Raymond James, RJ, what is it, F, at a price of about, let's just call it 118.50 for argument's sake. 118.50. Within the next week. And I assure you guys that your advisor will never, ever, ever do what I'm doing now. Do you know why? Because he has no freaking idea what I'm doing. So do you know what he'll call it? That's conspiracy. You can't do that. That doesn't work. Yeah, that's right. It's a real giant conspiracy to realize that supply and demand controls the price of an asset. That's a giant conspiracy. Oh, but he doesn't know how to read supply and demand, and he also doesn't know how to read cash flow. That's why it's a conspiracy. And why does he know that? He wasn't taught to know that. Why wasn't he taught to know that? Because if you are a giant institution that collects 1% to 2% on an individual's assets, why would you want your broker that goes out and collects assets doing anything but collecting assets? Why would you want him sitting at a computer worrying about how to make people money? The amount of money he's going to make, if he takes $1 million account and he increases it by 1%, that is an additional 1%, an additional 10 grand. He can go out and find a measly $100,000 account the next week and make you a hell of a lot more money than that. And by the way, that lasts forever. That guy makes a misstep in the market, he gives that 1% right back, which will keep him tied to his desk and off the phones. And believe you me, they don't want that. Let's look at LPL. And it would actually take a lot of expertise to be good at this. You have to know yourself very well. You have to know your emotions very well. You have to be in control of your emotions, which is just not, it's not bad. We talked about this at the beginning of the program. Look, I didn't know what it meant to love yourself or hold value in you that wasn't based on accomplishments or success until I didn't realize that I'd gotten to that point until last night. I'm 45 years old. My whole life has been run by my accomplishments and my successes and my ability to be an alpha and all of that. Now, I will tell you that this young generation thinking that being an alpha is a bad thing, they're in for a real surprise. I hope we get to a point where being an alpha simply means that you help the betas and you lift them up instead of trying to abuse them. That's what I hope. That's what I do. I promise you that I know more tricks than you could ever imagine. And I could be wealthy overnight using those tricks. But instead, I sit here and I try to show you the tricks. Why do I do that? Oh, he wouldn't do that. No, you wouldn't do that. I would do that. I threw a $500,000 career away because I didn't like how I made the money. You got it. I didn't like that I could only avoid 50% bear markets for my clients. I didn't like that I couldn't fully optimize what I was capable of. It bothered me that bad. That's me. Not smart, stupid. And that's not self-love. That's a fact. I love me, man. I told you at the beginning of this, I'm impenetrable to anything you say to me. About me, to me, for me, anything that's happened, don't care. LPL sucks. All right, let's look at what they call, hold on, I want to read this to you first. We're going to go ahead and look at what they call sustainable, the top 10 sustainability companies. I need you to hear this because this made me laugh my ass off. I'm sorry for the cursing. I've cursed like half a dozen times during this program today, and I don't like that, and it's crude, and I shouldn't do it. And you shouldn't like it, by the way. You should be offended by the fact that I did that, and I would agree with you. So anyway, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, Alphabet, Visa, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Nestle. I don't know enough about Nestle to know if that's laughable or true. Unilever. I don't know what that is. Again, I don't know enough. So Tesla, you guys, I gave you a short-term goal on Thursday. It was Tesla to hit 177, which it did already, and then run to 200. So I'm not going to go over this again. Microsoft. Oh my gosh. Who doesn't think that Bill Gates is out there trying to help them? What's wrong? That guy's he is a helper. He's a helper, this guy. Look at his stock, for God's sakes. You're telling me he's not helping people? Get out of here. He's out there trying to solve world health crises. This guy does big things in a big way. I don't know why you guys are always knocking him. Look at the shape he's in, for God's sakes. You think his vaccines don't work and his dietary plan is poor. You kidding me? That guy is 300 pounds of fat ass. That guy knows exactly how to maintain your health. But, hey, listen, all jokes aside, I mean, he's a pig. You should never listen to anything he says about health. I don't know about the rest, but I do know this. You guys got to watch what you listen to. Just because some guy is all he cares about is his companies, guys. Don't take this into he's this monster. I mean, if you want to say making money is a monster, then he's a monster. You know why his companies do so well? It's all he cares about. You're right. He lied about the vaccines. But, yeah, how many companies lie? How many of you guys are focused on how to market on social media? That's lying. So when he markets to you saying that these studies are done and this is this and blah, no, he has the studies. I mean, he paid for them, but he has the studies. Just like you have the studies to back up what you're saying and what you're doing. I had real estate agents telling me late last year that the real estate market was going to do nothing but go up. There was a mortgage guy
on TikTok, all he talked about was how you missed the mark in January and all this crap. I mean, complete garbage. But he had all the stuff to back it up. What makes Bill Gates different than you? Step out of your glass house for a minute. You know what I mean? Oh, he's buying up all the land and making fake meat. Well, I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of people that live in deserts in sub-Saharan Africa and in places where people drink their poop water, like in India. And that fake food, while it is complete garbage, if you can avoid it, you should. Those places need that fake food. Well, he's buying up all the land in the U.S. because he doesn't want you to eat cows anymore. Or maybe he's buying up all the land in the U.S. because it's the most stable asset you can really ever buy. It's the only asset that has a limited source. It's the only asset guaranteed to go up in value because there's only so much of that asset. It's called Earth. So be careful with that stuff. And when you talk about his companies, they make a lot of money. I'm not telling you to buy them. I wouldn't buy this stuff. I mean, he's a power hungry, but he's like a guy should have went to politics. He probably would have been president for 18 terms. I remember when Trump started running and everybody knocked him. I'll send you my personal Facebook if you think I'm lying. There was not a single person that thought Trump could win. I remember it was like he may have not made the announcement yet, but he was talking about it, and I knew he was going to run. I went on Facebook I wrote it right away. This isn't gloating, by the way, but I wrote right away, "Welcome your new president of the United States," because Microsoft really, in the short term, is nothing worth taking a look at. Apple, we've already looked at. It has a price of like 172, 174 over the next couple months. Do you want to take a look at what it might do now? Okay, well, let's do that. These are sustainability companies, by the way. No, they're not, but they are top 10 sustainability companies. Let's take a look at what Apple's going to do in the near term. We'll go down to a daily just so I have a reasonable picture of this thing. Oh, my God. No, guys. You should short this stock to 172, 174. It's just a fact. If you're doing anything but that, you're crazy. Just short the stock and go to sleep. Set your price level for 174. Go to bed. I mean, I swear to you, you're nuts if you're buying this. You're nuts. I'm actually going to put this up again. I should have been let me be clear about the time frame. This is a daily chart, guys. I'm not going to change from blue. I'm just going to leave it. I'm sure many people have tuned out due to the diatribe of stuff I've been talking about today. I just look, how many times can I show you how to evaluate, right? I'll probably do a full evaluation again tomorrow. I'll break it down for you so you can see where a lot of this is happening. If you don't know why a lot of this is happening, we basically look at trading activity, which is cash flow. We also look at supply and demand. That's how much stock is out there. If it's being reeled in by the company, what it's doing. Here, let's take a look at what Apple's going to do in the very near term. This is selling at high prices, folks. So in the very near term, it's going to come back to 194, it looks like. But let's go ahead and go down to 5 minutes. This is buying right here at 212. But look at look at that. Boom, that's buying. So in the very near term, this thing looks like it's going to rally. Wait, maybe it's only 3 minutes. I got to log back into TradingView. TradingView, you should be paying me, by the way. I'm using your software all the time, talking to everybody. Let's see. This is a high price. That's why it dropped off. This is a low price. Yeah, in the very near term, you're gonna see 215.70. But yeah, I remember, man, when Trump came out and everybody was making fun of him, like, oh, that guy has transformed more times than anyone I've ever seen in my life. He destroyed small businesses in Atlantic City. I mean, annihilated people, everybody, knowing full well he was going to file for bankruptcy. I remember there's one particular guy. He was a window guy. He had over $1 million in products that he had bought. This wasn't even the work of installation. It was $1 million in the actual windows. And I think he killed himself. Yeah, he's a small business owner. I mean, small in the fact that he could afford a million in inventory to buy those windows for Trump's. What was he building? What was that? What's that famous? The Trump. It was. I want to say Trump Tower. That wasn't it. It was shaped. I think it's shaped like the tiger or whatever. I don't know Atlantic City all that well. That place always seemed pretty trashy to me. And I don't gamble, so maybe I'm dead wrong, guys. There's Apple for you. Let's look at Visa and let's look at Procter and Gamble and Visa because these guys are really all about helping you. Visa is really about sustainability. Procter and Gamble for sure. So anyway, we're looking here. Let's take a peep. Okay, this is Visa, everybody. What a company. Just changing the world, one consumer at a time. That's just helping you out. You know what I mean? If you're poor, you pay 30%, compounded daily. If you're rich, you pay nothing ever. Just helping the world, one person at a time. What a company, You really want to be on board with sustainability and diversity and equity and inclusion, this sort of stuff. Visa's where you got to go. I mean, I can't even believe this is in doubt. You should buy this purely for the fact that they are such an amazing company. You know what I mean? Really doing great things. What a piece of crap. Procter and Gamble. But yeah, then Trump won, and then they definitely stole that election in 2020. I think they stole it because they thought it was a good reason. No excuse to steal, though. Show me some proof it was stolen. I've seen studies. I can show you studies that say elephants fly. Give me 1 week. I'll have that study published. If you doubt me, I'll bet anybody $5,000 right now. I can get a study published that says elephants can, in fact, fly, based on physics. How about that? If you think that election wasn't stolen, you're crazy. Did I care if Trump won or Biden won? Same people. Same. Me personally, I don't care. I know better than that. It's all about manipulating you, giving you George Carlin said it best, man. We used to have 10 companies doing this. Now we have 2. You can see the consolidation. I mean, who did I say Morgan Stanley bought? Who was it? Morgan Stanley, what company? Oh, Morgan Stanley bought E-Trade. Schwab bought TD Ameritrade. I mean, Morgan Stanley bought Smith Barney. Bank of America bought Merrill Lynch. Wells Fargo bought A.G. Edwards. I mean, listen to me. This is an illusion of choice, folks. We don't have any choices. And like George Carlin said, unless you want ice cream, go to Baskin and Robbins. They have 31 flavors. So you have the illusion of choice. There's no choice. Here's Procter and Gamble. Boy, they're probably saving the world, One injection at a time. Completely safe, everybody. Completely safe. Completely safe. It's funny, this turned into more of a conversation than breaking down charts, huh? I can talk all day, guys. I mean, I don't really care. Like, my opinions, you have to understand something about my opinions. My opinions are backed by the fact that I am raised in a system that never did anything good for me, okay? I was raised on welfare, therefore, by the time I was 18, I was going in debt just paying rent, lived on my own since I was 17, a high school senior, right? First car I bought was $300, but I bought it. First money I ever made was being a pool shark. The system tried to push me down, because it'll build so much debt on top of you, and it makes life so hard. Listen, I worked 1 full-time job and 2 part-time jobs while going to college full-time. I slept about 2 hours a day. If you don't believe me, I can prove all of this. I slept 2 hours a day in my truck, commuting to and from Slippery Rock University. Shout out Slippery Rock and everybody back in PA. Allegheny County, Beaver County, where I'm from, Aliquippa, Hopewell High School. That's me. And so anyway, point being, going through college, it took me about 3.5 years because I had to argue with every professor that I would have to take statistics before I could take algebra. I'd have to take algebra 2 before algebra 1. Why? I had to support myself, which most people don't have to do. I did, in fact, have to do that. I had to wait 2 years to go to college. So I could get loans to go through. It's a massive. Listen, here's the crazy thing about our system. If you're abused, you're going to have to get abused a hell of a lot more before you can get out. So if you're starting on rung 2 of a 10 rung ladder, that guy on rung 8, he doesn't have to do very much to get to rung 10. First off, he's set up to get to rung 10, right? So you like all these guys out there, they're like, well, my dad was a CEO and look at me now. It's like Elon, and this isn't knocking anybody. I don't care. If you're born in a good position, I am envious of you, if anything, but certainly not jealous. I think you had an amazing life, and I think that you should be grateful and blessed. And I think you should try to help others live your life. I think your best. I think that should be your commitment. And it's my commitment to this world. Did I start on wrong one? Gosh, I don't know. Real low, real low. So I'm taught to have no self-worth. I'm abused beyond belief. I have complex trauma problems, which makes me a people pleaser. No matter what I do, I believe it's my fault. All of my life is based on my ego and my accomplishments and my goals and my successes. So failures almost destroy me. So I have none of that. I'm not set up for college. I have to go deep in debt. I have to sleep in trucks that I have to spray paint. So like people get to mock you too. Remember, the people mock people that are broke like that. We can pretend they don't, but they do. They point, they laugh, you know what it's like to be hungry. You're fearful. You live in ego. That's your setup, okay? And when you start on rung, say 6 or even 5, at least you're set up. Maybe the debt exists in these things, but I would say that you're at least to some degree, you have some self-worth, whatever. Like as you go up, you're more set up. So is it something that Elon Musk's dad owns all the emerald mines in the world and that he made it to Tesla? I would call that a natural progression, and I would say that he was set up for that. Does everybody do it? No. So is there a challenge in that? Yes. Did he work as much as he say? No. What does he call work? Dinner in 5-star restaurants, talking about his companies. That's what he calls work. To me, that's vacation. You see? There's just a big difference in our lives. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the man. I'm not taking his guts away from him. I know he was down to his last, it was 100 million or 50 million from selling PayPal that he had to decide to keep Tesla alive or SpaceX alive. And you can make fun of that if you want. I won't. He wasn't risking his well-being or anything. Like the guy had a home no matter what he did. But he subbed it. He could have guaranteed Tesla success, or he could have guaranteed SpaceX success by taking all the money and putting it into one company, but he didn't. He subdivided it and took a big risk. And that is a big risk, right? You have all that money, you could lose all that money. It's not like he was ever going to be homeless or not have food, right? Which, like, for a lot of you out there that want to be small business owners and entrepreneurs, that is what it means. Homelessness, welfare, suicide. These are the things that starting a small business can mean to you. Whereas when you're at that level, none of that qualifies. Now, that shouldn't make you angry at that person, but that should also kind of make you realize something I didn't realize when I was growing up, is that it takes time to get there. If you're the guy starting it, like that's me, you have to be realistic with goals. Now, you can shoot for the stars, and I do every single day, right? Like, what's the saying? Aim for the stars, land on the moon, worst case. And I do it every day. But you have to be real careful, because you have to realize that a lot of the people you're talking about, they didn't have your start. I'm 45 years old, and I probably now finally have the self-worth that Elon Musk had at 4. So keep it real. Keep it real with yourself. And listen to me, guys. I'm going to stop sharing this. I went way over today, but I got to tell you something. That was worth it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not even sure if I can put the whole hour and 10 minutes up. I might get cut off, but I do appreciate you coming. Thanks for listening to me talk. Big banks are a necessary evil for the moment, but hopefully we can topple them. What they call sustainability isn't sustainability. Support your local small, mid-sized businesses as I do. And as I come in, this is like apocalypse now. That's Godfather. I don't know. Thanks for coming, everybody. Hey, listen, I'm going to talk to you on Father's Day again. Beat your ear in.